When my nephew Matt came to visit me from Boulder, Colorado, I picked him up at the airport and I told him all the things we could do, coming to work with me to meet everyone there, going to the East Bank Club to work out, and having dinner at the grill. And on Sunday, going to church. Matt looked at me and said, "I'm not a church person." I said, "Well, what does that mean, Matt?" And he said, "It means I'm not a church person." Welcome to Sunday Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. Each week we talk about everything and nothing. This Sunday we talked about fluoride, blood-brain barrier, Nancy Pelosi in Ukraine, and the new abortion refuge in the state of Connecticut. The readings at Washington National Cathedral were from Acts and from Revelation. His eyes were open, but he did not see. And every creature on earth singing, blessing, power, and might. We all see things every day without seeing them. And when we notice them for the first time, we think it's something new. We think God appears when we notice him or see his face in the face of Christ, but this is not so. God is there always. I ran into a church friend at Starbucks this Sunday, someone I had not seen in almost 3 years. We had fun catching up. When she got up to go, I realized I was sitting next to a homeless person who was also familiar to me from church, but at the same time, I was noticing one person, I was apparently oblivious to another. At St. James Cathedral, Lisa talked about being called. God calls us. We all hate to be tapped for things, and the easiest thing to do is say no. It's very empowering. Margaret Mead said social structures are based on vulnerable beings with foibles, follies, and inconsistencies. God created a pyramid scheme based on people. What was he thinking? The hymn today was Lift High the Cross, and that always reminds me of Pastor Dana Ferguson. Dana was from Batesville, Mississippi. She said growing up in Batesville was completely integrated. The white people had their churches on their side of town, and the Black people had their churches on their side of town. I remember seeing Dana in the narthex, and I was about to say, "Did anyone ever tell you you're a very attractive preacher lady?" But then I hesitated when I noticed she looked like she was floating in her ecclesiastical garb. It was a little while later that we learned that Dana's cancer had returned. Whenever Dana preached, we always sang Lift High the Cross following her sermon, and they played it at her funeral, which was held on All Hallows Eve. Dana was a lovely, lovely person. She was always in a hurry and on a mission, yet she always had time to stop and say hello. Dana noticed everything. She'd be talking to you and notice that there was a light bulb burned out nearby. And as soon as the conversation was over, someone would be over there fixing the light bulb. Not out of compulsion, but because they wanted to. Dana saw things the way they should be, and it inspired others to want to see it that way also. At coffee hour, someone said, we need to be grateful and find happiness wherever and whenever we're able. But then none of us could really think of anything to be grateful or happy about. We live in such a strange time. For people like my nephew, hymns like Lift High the Cross are way too churchy, for myself included, but this hymn is so familiar to me. And because it is so familiar, I truly love it. In church today, I was struck by the healing properties that sound and color can provide, the stained glass windows and the organ, things we see at church but don't always notice or truly see. And singing hymns, something I seldom do anymore, but today, when I heard the refrain, it was involuntary to join the congregation. Lift high the cross, the love of Christ proclaim, till all the world adore your sacred name. If you would like to join us at Sunday Coffee Hour, I will include my email in the description of this video, and I will be happy to send you an invitation And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.